Hello all you bladers, and we know how Spriggan Requiem is the most overpowered Bay in the entire God and possibly Beyblade series of anime. But what happens if it never got created in the first place? We know that Shu created Spriggan Requiem during his Red Eye phase with a mask. He faced Nightmare Luinor and Louis Shirasagi in an unofficial match and his mask broke, which means that he wanted revenge, more powerful Bay, etc., wanted Spriggan Requiem. But the reason he was so scared of Louis in the first place is because the previous encounter, he broke Storm Spriggan. And Shu, under the mask, knows he's facing Louis. But Louis, although his opponent is Spriggan, doesn't know for sure if that's actually Shu Koronai under the Red Eye mask until it's broken. And Louis, having broken Storm Spriggan, leaves a huge impact on Shu. So if Shu had stuck with Legend Spriggan after that encounter, his matchups in the tournament would have been slightly different. Now, we know that Volts and Kurtz, who's the former world champion, had the same exact matchups. So Kuza had to beat Kurt in order for Volt to make it to the finals. However, if, for say, Kurt had beaten Shu with Legend Spriggan, which I do think would have happened, Shu with Legend Spriggan would have been a very powerful blader, but I don't think he could have taken Kurt on, especially because he couldn't have used that strategy where you transfer your rubber absorption to Kukulkan and give it too much power to handle. He couldn't have used that strategy, and I think although he's a very capable blader with Spriggan, Legend Spriggan, Kurt could have taken him out there and then. And that means that Kurt would have been the #1 blader in Group A, and the runner-ups would have been Volt and Shu, which means that the winner of Volt versus Shu would have made it to the finals with Kurt. Now, I think Shu with Legend Spriggan, meaning that he never created Spriggan Requiem, would have forced Volt to never have created the Ultimate Reboot Driver, or even the Strike God chip. The whole reason Volts had all these upgrades is because Shu created a new Bay. He looks up to Shu and psychologically follows Shu. So if Shu had gone more powerful with the same Bay instead of just evolving his Bay, Volt, I think, would have stuck with his God Valkyrie and gotten used to more of that rather than switching to some new gear. Now, I think Shu could have taken Volt even if it was a close match in that time, which means that Shu and Kurt would have moved on to the finals. And of course, Group B, Louis and Free moved on, and nothing changes there whatsoever. This means that Kurt would have gone up against Louis, and Shu would have gone up against Free. Now, Louis destroys Kurt. Free may not have been as pushed to use Nothing Break, because Shu not evolving his Bay means Volt doesn't evolve his Bay, because Volt looks up to Shu and will follow his path, and that means Free doesn't take Shu as serious as an opponent, but he's still got Nothing Break in the bag, and it's still evident that Free would win no matter how close the matchup is, which means that Free and Louis would be in the finals and Free wins. Very close match again, but Free wins. Maybe Louis does, but Free wins. The whole idea of this is that if Spriggan Requiem was never created, Volt and Shu would not nearly have been as powerful, partly because they'd never evolved their bays twice in the same series. Volt and Shu evolving their bays in the God series twice is what led them to become on Louis and Free's level. Not to say that they're not powerful bladers, but they're just not as powerful without the evolutions. And that's because of plot armor. That's how the story's written, yes, but they're still very capable bladers. It's just that if Spriggan Requiem was never created, Shu is just not on the level of Free and Louis, and that's pretty much the point of this entire video. Maybe some other stuff could have happened in between with the snake pit, but that's pretty much all the points I wanted to cover. I'll try and do more of these like smaller theory videos if that's what you guys wanted to see or see more of. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Subscribe if you enjoyed, have fun, and don't forget to keep on blading.